So what's up to everyone out there? I'm Pace. I'm a deep soul house music DJ. I like to coin my own style of playing, my own style of tracks that I like to play as deep soul sonic house music tracks. So that's kind of my brand, deep soul sonic brand. But I'm gonna start doing this a little more, getting on here and talking to you guys. For those who follow me and those who might follow in the future, I'm gonna try my best to just, spitball a little bit and share my thoughts on DJing and the when you play out, even when you play at home, but particularly when you're playing out in front of an audience, and share my thoughts on that and just about anything, man. I got random thoughts about a lot of different topics related to music and DJing and house music in particular, real soulful house music, and that whole genre of house music. No disrespect to any other genres, but I'm a house music fiend. So anyway, here's my thoughts, man. This when you're playing Afro house is I love Afro house. I it's part of my discography when I play. I have a folder dedicated to Afro house and Afro tech, but you gotta be careful when you're playing Afro house tracks. And you may already know this, you might have learned the hard way, but unless you're playing a party that's dedicated, that's the theme of the party is Afro house, or if you're playing over in in Africa or in a city or country that is already acclimated to the Afro house scene, then outside of that, you have to really be careful with how you deploy and when you play an Afro house track, because as beautiful as I think it is and I love it, I would play it all the time, every time if I could. You've got to drop that in and just tease it a little bit to see how the floor is going to react. Because if the floor is not used to Afro house music, even if you talk to each individual on the floor and said, "Oh yeah, I know Afro house, I love it," you have to really be careful, because you can empty the floor with an Afro house track if you play it. If you maybe not one, but if you play back to back, you could really see people distancing themselves from the floor. So I'm just putting that out there. Just be careful how you deploy your Afro house folder when you want to play a track, because you really got to read the room on that, and sometimes you don't know until you play it. I guess that's the lesson learned with Afro house.